Here we go. Coming to you live from Ball Arena. And fellas, it was an electric Ball Arena tonight.
Hell yeah.
For my money, one of the very best crowds of the year. Really, really, really great crowd. And I actually think that's super impressive, all things considered, especially coming after that Memphis loss, all the eggs they've laid at home. The crowd was just ready to go tonight. At one point, Jamal Murray mentioned that in his presser, that he was kind of proud that they came back and put forth that kind of effort in front of this crowd. So it was definitely that kind of symbiotic relationship where you want both kind of halves responding to each other throughout the night. So really, really great Ball Arena crowd. When Tim Hardaway Jr. hit that 1-3, and I think you guys probably know which one I'm talking about, forced a timeout, top 3 loudest moment in this arena this season, I would say. So some vibes in here for sure, and I want to shout the fans out right off the bat. And I'll take you guys into the locker room. David Adelman really liked their defensive intensity in that fourth quarter, thought that they actually were able to speed the Raptors up as opposed to it being the other way around, which it certainly was in that third quarter. He said at the end of the game, Aaron Gordon was tremendous defensively. Big play there, guys, at the end where they actually did not switch. They concede a lot of switches in these crunch times. There was one where Murray hedged high, Gordon was able to recover, and it ends in Gordon blocking Scotty Barnes. David Adelman talked about that. We were switching a lot, putting Jamal on Barnes with the reality that we were going to tilt with a big coming over, try to put 2 on him. And he playmaked all night. We got to the end of the game, and I thought, okay, it's just time for Aaron to guard him. That was a decision that was made late in the game. It was something that we walked through today. So a little bit of some strategy implemented there to slow the bleeding in crunch time. Obviously, the biggest play of the night, Aaron Gordon with that big block. Kind of a serendipitous moment. Pre-game, David Adelman mentioned, I feel like Aaron Gordon and Scotty Barnes are kind of destined to play a game against each other. And just really like the way that one shook out with Mr. Nugget getting that big block.
I love it too because I, on the All-NBA show, compared those two because AG compares Scotty Barnes to him. And Raptors fans are like, Scotty Barnes is so much better than Aaron Gordon. So tonight he got to win the game by stuffing him and throwing him to the floor.
It's also funny because doesn't that seem like a really great kind of outcome for Scotty Barnes is ultimately being – I digress. This is a Nugget show. One small detail that Adelman really liked tonight, and it actually ended in a missed shot. He said they got Jamal a great look when the Raptors cross-matched. Also mentioned that the Raptors are kind of like cross-matching is in their DNA with their roster and the way it's built. But he said there was one where they were able to get Jamal a great look. And look, do we want to get Nikola the ball? Yes. But it's just as good if he takes 3 with him and gets Jamal a great look. Those are the small things I'm looking for right now. On that second unit, going small, he said, yeah, it's 3 times in the last 7-ish games where that's kind of worked. The challenge with that group is organized offense. It can be a bit of an uphill battle for them. But yes, maybe the Nuggets have found something here with a smaller look. Adelman ended his presser with what I thought was a tiny bit of a contradiction. Yes. I asked him, look, Adelman, that's not what I said. David, can you imagine if I was just like, Adelman? No, I said, David, they scored 41 points in the third. Then you guys held them to 21 in the fourth. In my mind, it's kind of like this team in a nutshell right now. How close do you think this group is to 4-quarter efforts, and how big of a point of emphasis is it? And he said, look, obviously that's the goal. He thinks they're getting closer. He went on to say, I just have extreme confidence in this group, man. And I know it's been up and down. Believe me, I'm coaching the team. I'm seeing the same thing you guys are. And I thought that was a bit of mixed messaging, but ultimately Adelman still has extreme confidence in this group. A lot of good things to say about Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight. I'm sure you guys had plenty to say on the show. Adelman had a lot to say at the podium. And Tim Hardaway Jr. got the podium tonight. He was asked about that 6th-Man of the Year award. And he said, if I was sitting here saying I wasn't thinking about that, I would be lying. I do think about that. In fact, when I came here, it was one of my goals. But I also know it comes with team success. So I'm just going to try to let my play speaks for itself. Although I do think, guys, as I called in, I heard you saying, sometimes Tim plays and then he speaks also on top of that. He likes to speak for himself as well, I've noticed. He talked about defense, and David Adelman shouted out his defense down the stretch. Hardaway said that's what it's going to come down to, one-on-one play. People are too talented, people are too good, but we're getting close to postseason play now. And a lot of the things that were called fouls here and there, maybe they're starting to let go more of. So it's just about sitting down and playing one-on-one defense from here. He had some glowing praise of Spencer. He says, man, he's just been in so many spots, guarding other teams' best players, guarding their 5, guarding their 4, the 3, the 2, the 1, the guy on the bench. He's just guarding everyone. They've been very, very impressed with Spencer's growth. Jamal Murray took the podium as well. Jamal had a wrap in the last few games on his right shoulder. I don't know if you guys, athletic tape would be a more accurate way to call it. Tonight, it was a big, big ice wrap after the game. I asked him about that. He said, we're good. And I said, okay, but if someone were to ask me what it is, what should I tell them? Because I'm getting that question a lot. And he said, he smiled and he said, we're good. So, folks, if you're wondering, Jamal's official answer to your question to me is that the shoulder is good. It did have a lot
I love that answer. I love that answer, to be honest with you.
Jamal, I think it was one of these games on the road. He told Katie Wingy after the game, Jamal is not in excuse-making mode right now. He really wants nothing to do with it. So the shoulder, it's not keeping him out of games. He didn't want to talk about it. He says, we're good. Onward. He was asked about his communication with Jokic, and he said, there's a lot of communication without any words. I love that quote. He said, I read him and he reads me, and I mean him like a being, like his emotions and everything. He said a lot of guys came to play tonight on both ends. Everybody helped. Everybody pitched in. Everybody was kind of willing to play two-way, and that's why they won tonight. On the ups and downs of this season, he said, look, it's not going to happen overnight with the guys coming back, guys being in and out. We just have to go at our own pace. But I thought tonight was a great bounce-back game in front of our fans after that Memphis loss. He went on to say, if we had lost that game, our effort would have been something I could have slept well with. So he really liked their approach. Asked about the confidence and believing, an excerpt from his longer answer. He says, look, with what we have in that locker room, there's just no reason for us not to believe. So Jamal does still believe. He thinks tonight was one of those games where they played 48 minutes through, stopped himself and conceded. Maybe there were some moments here and there where there were lapses, but they kept playing. He said that was good to see, and it was just good to see us get a win.
Bar kind of low, but yes, they did play for a majority of the game, and they did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. But an improvement.
They won.
And an improvement.
They
it's
did
a
win.
step up. Anything else, Vote?
No, just it's really funny to see Ryan Green up there. Also, Jeff, good to see you back.